You found an issue of Ion Seegson? Dang. The company hasn't published that for like 30 years. A century ago, Seegson was real big, one of the interstellar corporations. They put their money into deep space platforms, O'Neill colonies, asteroid refineries, you name it. Then Weyland-Yutani made a bunch of breakthroughs in terraforming. Turning a planet habitable got a lot cheaper than assembling 1 million tons of orbital steel. By the 2140s, Seegson was on their way down. These days, they make cheap knockoffs of other people's stuff, like those working Josents. I heard in the 70s they tried to colonize some planets in the Mid-Rim. Wonder what happened with that.
I have seen this headgear in your combat recordings. It is worn by Weyland-Yutani's security synthetics. Human form androids are used for many applications, from administration to combat. Personal and corporate security are historically among the most popular fields. One of the earliest mass-produced security models was Weyland-Yutani's Davis from the late 2130s. Security synthetics often possess limited and inflexible intellects. Strict adherence to orders makes them preferable for riot control and strike breaking. They cannot sympathize with those they are deployed against. Weyland-Yutani used many security synthetics at Pala Station. Perhaps this was because xenomorphs do not perceive synthetics as a threat or potential host. Unless attacked, they ignore androids. I hope you did not ingest that. It is an internal lubricant used by synthetics like myself. Artificial people, if you prefer, or simply androids. We are designed to mimic human form and behavior, and can perform many tasks, often ones that humans find upsetting, unethical, or physically uncomfortable. In the previous century, there were cases where synthetics became unstable. The initial solution was to make our minds less complex. Since the 2160s, synthetics are constrained by hard-coded laws governing acceptable behavior towards humans. The colonial marines employ synthetics in various roles. The integer series are low-sapient combat models. Perhaps you've deployed with our platoons Alpha and Beta? High-functioning bishops and esthers operate support equipment, analyze scientific anomalies, and provide medical care.
Ah, Dr. Honoka's ID. May I have a copy of your scan? Corporate badges contain employee personnel files. Likely nothing we didn't already know, but it's best to be thorough. Timothy Honoka was born in New York City. Oh, interesting. Most born on Earth stay there. His family was reasonably well off, though he's paying rather exorbitant educational loans. He earned a doctorate in xenoanthropology from Wayland University, Mars campus, a controversial program. There have never been any alien cultures to study. Courses mix terrestrial archaeology with studies in exoplanetary sciences. One must understand the dirt one digs in, I suppose. Ah, this is interesting. According to Weyland-Yutani's own files, Dr. Honoka is presently cataloging the contents of a warehouse on Alexandria. It's likely we're the only ones who know his true location.
Yeah, I heard about that. Benoist Henderson Station was a fuel depot at Kappa Reticuli. Weyland-Yutani says WhiteAbaddon mercenaries sabotaged it. WhiteAbaddon says one of Weyland's own bioweapons got loose. You figure that out. Either way, the depot blew up. 1,000 civilians died, food shipments got delayed for months. Shit like that, why they passed the Colonial Protection Act in '87. After the Frontier War, everybody wised up to how far the megacorps had gone. The further from Earth they moved, the more they figured they could ignore governments and act like them in their own selves. Hire private armies and send them at each other. The CPA authorized the expansion of the Corps. Now, we come out here, patrol, and make sure the companies are playing nice, following the law, paying their taxes, and leaving the little people out of their bosta. Any briefing you need, you should get from your squad leader. After the Frontier War in '84, everyone wised up on how the megacorps ran things out here. Weyland-Yutani was the big instigator. Illegal experiments, colony sabotage for insurance payouts. The company looks out for itself. Its money, its secrets, its execs. If we're keeping those safe, Weyland loves the Corps. If they think we're working against them, they'll fuck us over and smile when they do it. Remember that. Too big to jail. Can't sanction them without pissing off all of Europe and Outer Soul. In the three-world empire, Weyland-Yutani's like a third of the economy. They run a bunch of government services. Tu sabe, privatization. Even provide military contractors to shore up the regular military. Every couple years, some of the execs and middle managers fuck up too big for the company to gloss over, or Parliament to ignore. They get tossed out on their ass. That's all the justice you can expect. The Colonial Protection Act says Marines got authority out here. We can do whatever's necessary to protect civilians, from Xenos or from corporations. If Weyland's fucking around, we can drop the hammer on them. They give us lip, we can make it fat. Uncle Sam and Doña Juanita got our backs. All megacorps can get fucked with the same crowbar. They lose money, I smile.